where dogs and their owners show off their favorite costumes.
Here. Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember Peristam.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sale.
Here.
Mayor Bradley.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor. Our next item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Madam City Clerk, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening?
Would everyone rise? Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Our next item is our closed session report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen participating in person and virtually. City Council met in closed session tonight pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 regarding ongoing labor negotiations with AFSCME District Council 36. Negotiating staff provided a privileged and confidential briefing on a recent proposal received from the District 36 representatives. That proposal was reviewed and discussed in detail, and the City Council authorized its labor negotiating team to respond to that proposal, which will be communicated at a future date. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, by the way, all 5 members of the council participated in that closed session. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
Our next item is the mayor's announcements.
So, it is with great pride that I'd like to announce that we had the honor, several of us, of going and wishing one of the icons of the city of Rancho Palos Verdes a happy 94th birthday last Thursday. One of our city founding fathers, Ken Dida, celebrated his birthday last week. And several of us and approximately 25 additional community members, including 2 past mayors, a current mayor, current council members, past council members, and staff, surprised Ken at his home for a birthday tribute. We sang happy birthday. There was a ton of balloons. In fact, the city manager almost wasn't able to get through the front door with the amount of balloons he had, and you will see this here in a second. Ken's reaction was priceless. He was not thinking at all. He thought one person was going to come by, and we filled his living room with well-wishers. He's been having some challenges of late, but I think this really raised his spirits. So from the entire community, I think that was fantastic. So I think that we have a little video of the celebration, so please roll the video. So truly an amazing individual that was partly responsible for the founding of our city. The Civic Center is named after him in tribute to everything that he's done, multiple times on the city council, multiple times as our mayor. Once again, Ken, if you're watching, happy birthday, and here's to many more.
Our next item then is by acclamation to move approval of the Recycle and Emergency Preparedness Kit Drawing winners, Edmundo Payares and Larry Mayer.
So moved.
Thank you. Our next item then is the approval of the agenda.
Move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Councilmember Ferraro,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Peristam,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seo,
Yes.
Mayor Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes. With that, we can move to public comments for non-agenda items. Seeing none, we can move to our city manager's report.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, and our viewing audience. As we're pulling up my presentation, you're probably wondering why there's so much pink in the house, and when you see the screen, I just want to remind the community and our residents, and of course the council, that October is the month of breast cancer awareness, and we recognize those that have experienced, survived, who haven't survived, who have succumbed to it, that we are stand by your side united. So we're all in the pink. Our city logo is pink for the entire month of October as well. And I think Councilmember Ferraro's your shoes are in pink as well. So
Even my shoes, right?
that's right, and that bracelet. So thank you. I just want to let the community know that we recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So moving on to the next slide. As you know, the council knows and the community, most of the community members know, this past Saturday, we had about 400 people show up at Trump National along Palos Verdes Drive South for the No Kings Day rally. And I just want to take a moment because there was a lot of organization and coordination behind the scenes that resulted in an event or a rally that had no incidents to report. I just want to give a big shout out to all the players that participated from city staff, from the Public Safety Division, Jen, Greg, and Lem. Our park rangers, Taylor was instrumental, the entire park ranger team. They were all out there making sure participants were safe, making sure vehicular traffic was under control. Pedestrians were able to cross the street in the parking. We had our public works crews out there that put up the barricades. They were working a day before. They removed all the barricades on Monday. And of course, all of our recreation and park staff, our internal staff, Catherine, Megan, and all the messaging that we did. We kept the community informed. CHOA was informed, Neighborhood Watch, PV Watch, as well as the HOAs in the surrounding area to make sure that there were no incidents. So just a big shout out, thank you to our staff for being so prepared and coordinated on this event. Next slide. So just some regular city business items that I want to go over. This Thursday, the city is going to be hosting its quarterly public forum meeting on the nature preserve. So those who are interested, you can participate in person or virtually. The meeting will be at City Hall in the community room, and it starts at 6 p.m. Next slide. This Saturday, we've got a busy weekend this weekend, but Saturday at the Kendida Civic Center, we are having our drive-through shredding event. It starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 11 a.m. You're allowed to bring 2 banker boxes of paper to shred. If you'd like the paper to be shred where you can watch it actually be shred, you can do that. Just tell the attendants there that you want to see it shred, and they'll pull you aside and they'll show you that they're shredding your documents. It's also an opportunity.
Make sure you don't get your tie caught.
That, for sure. That's why you're not going to do it. We're going to do it for you. But we want to, it's also an opportunity to bring any electronic waste as well to recycle. No hazardous waste, that's a different event, but any e-waste you could bring to this event. And it's also
Household e-waste.
Household e-waste, yes. And you can also, if you want mulch, we'll have mulch available for residents who want to take back for your yards. So that's this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Next slide. And on Sunday, we are doing our annual Peninsula Preparedness Expo. We partner with the 4 Peninsula cities, and it's at Peninsula High School. It starts at 10 a.m. and it goes through 1 p.m. It's where the farmers market is. It's a great opportunity, and we are always trying to stay on top of emergencies and natural disasters and always be prepared. We have a lot of great exhibits and showcased information to give out to the community. So come out to Peninsula High School this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we also have information on pet preparedness, residents, and there's going to be food and all sorts of items for the families. Next slide. And we're almost nearing the end of our EDCO Fall Brush Clearing event. This happens every October and in spring. It's where you can collect your yard clippings and put them out. EDCO will come pick it up. We have 2 Saturdays left. If your collection day is on Thursday, this Saturday will be your brush clearing day. And if your collection day is on Friday, it will be on Saturday, November 1st. Next slide. And the special election is right around the corner. It's Tuesday, November 4th, and I just want to let residents know that if you want to drop your mail-in ballot, you can do that at City Hall. The ballot box is open, so you can drop that ballot there. And if you want to vote in person, we will have voter center. In fact, Hess Park will be a voter center on that Tuesday. So just make that note. If you want to cast your ballot, you have some opportunities to do so here on the peninsula and in the city. Next slide. So it's our second annual Veterans Day breakfast. It will be held on Veterans Day, which is Tuesday, November 11th. That'll be at the Kendida Civic Center. It's our way of paying tribute to those who served in the military. So we will have breakfast for those individuals. We're recruiting as many members and veterans. We're asking that you reach out to us and let us know you're going to be attending. The breakfast starts at 9 a.m. We have a full program of speeches and tributes to our veterans. So please, those of you spread the word. It was a huge success last year, and we're looking to make it a larger and bigger event this year. Next slide. And later that week is our 3rd annual Run for Miles event. You know, we started this on our 50th anniversary. This is a really special event for the city. Not only are we recognizing an individual who was an active runner on the Palos Verdes Peninsula, especially in the city, but all the proceeds benefit the city, and it benefits the city's preserve and trails. And I can't stress enough how important we need that assistance, because many of our trails have been closed because of landslide. And we're gonna spend a lot of capital to rebuild those trails. And so every dollar counts. Even if you wanna walk the 5K or run the 10K, whatever you wanna do, just register. It's a lot of fun. I think most of the council and I are gonna be there, and staff are gonna be there, so we'd love to see the community. We're just gonna continue to promote it, and just register. You don't even need to run. You could just show up for all the fun and festivities. So we'll see.
It is a great event, and it cannot be more beautiful, starting at Point Vicente and running down the coastline, turning around right before the heritage site. It is a absolutely beautiful course.
So join us. The mayor's running. Pause. Okay, next slide. And yesterday was Diwali, and I just want to take, the city wants to wish everybody who observes Diwali a happy Diwali. Next slide. And of course, Halloween is around the corner. It's a week from Friday, believe it or not. And so we've got a really fun activity scheduled for Halloween that Friday at Eastview Park. It's the Pet Paw Parade. It's for your dogs. You could dress your dogs up with costumes. It's from 10 a.m. to noon. The parade, I think, starts at 10:30. I hear it's a huge success. A lot of people come out with their dogs in costumes. So if you want, you could just bring your dog, your furry pet, or just come and watch the festivities in that paw parade.
So is this right that we're going to have a doggy food truck?
Yes,
There is such a thing?
yes.
Who knew? A doggy food truck.
There's a food truck for everyone.
The doggies.
And on that note, we want to wish everyone a safe and spooky Halloween. And last but not least, just mark your calendars. Daylight savings starts on Sunday, November 2nd. So don't forget to fall back. So, and that concludes my report this evening.
Daylight
Thank you.
savings starts.
We missed a
Ends.
speaker for a non-agenda item, so we're going to go a little bit out of order. We're going to go back for a speaker on non-agenda items.
Ava Albuja?
So, Eva? Sorry about that.
No worries. Sorry, I didn't know you had to have 2 forms, so apologize for that. And wanted to see if my photos are available to go up there. Whatever the order you want, I'll wing it with what you've given me. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor Bradley and City Council and city staff. Just bringing an attention of how the rain went through our last event that we had recently. It did flood our driveways. That's one driveway there. If you can go on to the next picture. This is what happened in January 28th when we had a major storm. That's in my front yard. And if you go to the next picture, that's about 3 to 4 feet of damage of soil that was removed. And it did penetrate towards the cow water pipe. And if we can see the next picture, you can see that pipe being compromised with the soil being removed. Ramsey said last week that it's normal to have water go into the frontage of people's yards. It's not normal when we have pipes above ground from cow water that do need protecting. So I know Tim Connors was there today looking and evaluating the situation. And I just want to remind you guys that the budget for this is not to be mixed up with the budget of landslide. Landslide is a separate item to basic city water intrusion, basic water, stormwater that has to make it to the corner of Conquer and Exultant. So please do not confuse the two items. We need to protect our pipes. We need to protect our frontage because of the landslide. And if we continue with big storms in the future, this will destroy people's home, and I don't want my home to be destroyed. Next photo. If you play that video, this is today's results, and this is water coming from a pipe that is unknown where that pipe is coming from because it's not part of your pipes, and it was running all day today. Smelled like pee in there, smelled like sewer. This is not how we're supposed to be living in Rancho Palos Verdes for 2 years. I know we're going back to the budget. I know you guys have extra revenue from LA sanitation this year of $4 million. Also, our budget came into a negative $2 million on costs. So there is money to help with that, Graven. I'm not asking for it to be a full road. I'm asking that water travels to our storm drains and not to be in the Graven, not to be an Exultant Drive, and not to be in our front yards. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Hey, Ramsey, before we move on, that pipe that was discharging water, the speaker said, or Eva said, that that wasn't ours. Where's that pipe? I don't remember that pipe being there. Where did that pipe come from?
We're investigating to determine the source of that water.
Okay, yeah, just, that was a new pipe to me. Okay, thank you. Madam City Clerk, consent calendar?
Yes, sir. If I may have a motion.
Motion to accept consent?
Approval of the consent calendar.
Anybody want to pull an item?
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Councilmember Peristam?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ferraro?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seo?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes.
Motion passes. With that, we can move to item number 1 under regular business. Consider initiating a toll road feasibility study for maintenance of Palos Verdes Drive South within the Greater Portuguese Bend Landside Complex. I have 2 requests to speak.
Okay, let's have the staff report.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. This evening, Deanna Fraley, Principal Engineer of the Public Works Department, will present the staff report.
Good evening, Deanna.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight I'm going to talk about the feasibility of a toll road on a portion of Palos Verdes Drive South.
Can you put the mic closer to you so that we can hear better? Thank you.
Of course. So as you can remember, on February 4th, City Council directed staff to investigate the feasibility to converting a portion of PV Drive South into a toll road. And tonight I will be presenting the findings in regard to the legal, procedural, and regulatory requirements, the financial feasibility, and any unintended consequences. First and foremost, the first step would be to request would be a request to Caltrans or another approved regional transportation authority to apply to this California Transportation Commission on behalf of the city to apply for a toll road. So the city cannot apply to the CTC on its own. The California Transportation Commission, they are the approving body for toll roads in California. They will review if the toll road will improve the corridor performance, the effects on the regional transportation plan, any evidence of cooperation between Caltrans and the Regional Transportation Agency, and a funding plan. There would be some other procedural requirements and fees and agreements that would also be needed. For example, there would be application fees to the CTC, and there would be agreements with law enforcement and emergency services to manage emergency vehicle use of the toll road system. Since PV Drive South is part of the National Highway System, the FHWA may also have approval authority to convert a portion of PV Drive South into a toll facility. Modifying the NHS roadway would need to be requested by a metropolitan planning organization, such as the SCAG or Southern California Association of Governments. Finally, PV Drive South is within the coastal zone, and therefore the California Coastal Commission will also have authority. The commission has indicated that a coastal development permit and a local coastal plan amendment would be required to convert PV Drive South into a toll road. And although it may not be same circumstances, it should be noted that the Coastal Commission has never approved a toll facility under their authority. An initial feasibility study is estimated to cost in the range of $25,000 to $50,000. It will include multiple toll schemes. For example, all travelers will be tolled, only through trips will be tolled, and all travelers will be tolled, but the residents may get a discount. The study will also include an estimate of the cost to operate the toll system and an estimate of any net revenue. The initial study would be more of a big picture study if we're in the ballpark of what we can do. Example, is the toll gonna cost $1 to go through, or is it gonna cost $300 to go through? A future study would be required and will provide more details that would be needed for an actual application to the CTC, and it's estimated that that cost would be around in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So some potential unintended consequences will be toll road avoidance and diverting more daily traffic onto other arterials like Western, PV Drive East, Hawthorne, and PV Drive North. There could also be some economic impacts as people avoid the toll road, which would reduce traffic to the common destinations in the area like Terranea, Trump National Golf Club, and the Golden Cove Center. Staff recommendations is that City Council receive and file these preliminary findings, and if deemed appropriate, to direct staff to return at a later date with a PSA with a consultant that specializes in toll roads to prepare a study to consider converting a portion of PV Drive South into a toll road. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions of staff?
I do.
You have a question?
I'm surprised.
Councilman Peristam? Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question, there seems to be a number of barriers doing this, and that's not even getting into the precedents, which you said that hasn't ever been done, startup cost, time frame. Question, has the subcommittee, the Fiscal Sustainability Subcommittee, been a part of the staff recommendation or the staff presentation so far?
I can respond to that. No, not yet.
Okay, so you have not been a part of this? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Questions? Sure. Okay.
Our first speaker is Eva Albuja.
I think your sister was up here just a moment ago.
Right. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak on the subject. I do understand it seems like it's a big picture, something that's a very big obstacle, but I'm asking you to think out of the box. We do have carpool lanes that are now toll roads. We have many different roads that have turned into toll roads? Do we need to get a subcontractor to come in and give a referral fee of some sort back to you because it is your road? Can we have scanners so the traffic doesn't slow down and they tag their license numbers and they can pay in the future? I'm asking that we need to be creative because, again, the landslide's not going to be going away. PV Drive, needs always repairs. And we, as a city, need revenue, and we need to be creative and think out of the box. Please don't just deny this up front. Be creative, do more research. Just don't say no to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva.
Our next speaker is Dr. Kit Song via Zoom.
Sorry. Are you able to hear me?
We can hear you, Kit.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Thank
there,
you
we can
very-
even see you now.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I appreciate the chance to take a few minutes to speak here. As you know, I've been a very strong proponent of this, and I want to speak in support of this. I think, as my neighbor Ava had indicated, we really don't have a sustainable situation right now for the preservation of the land movement activities that you've been doing and the PV Drive South operating. Now, I heard a reference by Steve to the Fiscal Sustainability Committee. I'm open to any other options that could be there, but to date, I really haven't heard any viable options coming forward. And I think that the notion of grants and other external funding coming forward, despite the city's best efforts, have not been successful and are really non-sustainable because you can't go after grants year after year after year. My impression has been of the conversations at the city council meetings that the city is largely on its own. So I would encourage at least this exploratory effort to identify what the issues may be. There are going to be potentially unintended consequences. But at the end of the day, if you're going to look at other funding sources, it may involve assigning costs to the community in a broader way. And I think having information from this initial assessment will largely inform what direction the city should go. I do fully appreciate the complexity and the severity of costs that may be incurred, but I think by the time you do this feasibility study, as you're a little further down the road, you'll have a better idea whether or not there's other options available. And if not, this is a direction that, even though it would be unique and unprecedented, probably has a good basis for being able to get through. So I just want to speak in support of this, and I hope that you will vote to advance this. Thank you.
Thanks, Kit.
Our next speaker is Elliot Levy, also via Zoom.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you, Elliot. Good evening.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity to come on here. Despite the last two speakers, I'm kind of surprised to hear that support. I don't think there's broad public support for a toll road in our city, certainly not on the south side of the city where I live. And, more, in a broader sense, I don't think we're going to solve the landslide budget challenges $1 or $2 at a time. And certainly I don't think, as the city representatives said earlier, charging $300 to drive through the landslide is going to be in any way feasible. So I would just ask that before you go spend $25,000 or $50,000 on this, really put that money into getting a better lobbying firm. Kudos to you all and Ara and everyone who worked on getting the bill through both chambers. But, ultimately the governor's veto was a testament of the failure of this city government and your lobbyists to put forward a convincing enough argument. I think it was a really boneheaded decision by him. And believe me, I've sent emails and phone calls telling him that. But ultimately, the city needs to do a better job advocating for financial support from the state, and we need a lobbying firm that can achieve that. And then at the federal level, we have a president who owns a golf course on the road you're talking about tolling, who's pulling back millions of dollars in FEMA funds, and it's doing nothing despite the press conference last year to help us. So another area where I think the need and the argument is clear. And I know former Councilmember Cruikshank had a line into the president. I don't know if any of you all do, but you know, I hope that we can find someone who can assist us in trying to get more support there. Beyond that, you know, I'd encourage us to look for support, you know, from some of the major businesses along the road. I know, you know, Terranea and Longwood come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars every time there's an election in the city. You know, I hope they would put forward more money to fund this road, and of course the Trump National, as I said, because otherwise their businesses will be impacted. So, you know, let's not spend time tolling this road. Let's get better lobbying and get the millions of dollars in state and federal support that we need and deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Okay. Discussion. Any questions of staff? Discussion?
Nope.
Mayor Pro Tem, you want to start?
I don't have anything to say. I think, Mr. Mayor, if you want me to, then I'll make some comments. But if I think we're all on the same page in regards to this. I think we talked about it enough.
Councilman Peristam.
Thank you. I do have something to say. I think maybe a little different process. Different process is we have a subcommittee that's looking at sustainability here, and there's alternative approaches to revenue. It would make a lot more sense to me that instead of picking one potential revenue source out and say, let's go study it, that the subcommittee and the staff get that first evaluation, make recommendations, then come back to the council and say, you know, we like these ideas, or these are our priorities, and we should take that next step and make a recommendation to the entire council, and we'll go from there. Because I'm certainly not going to turn my back on any source of revenue, but I'd like to understand, number one, prioritization, likelihood, amount, those type of fundamental questions. So until we do that, I think we can do better in our process before this comes before us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my thinking is along the same lines. You know, we need to look at the entire revenue picture holistically with all the different options. And we have, even amongst trying to raise money, finite resources and efforts to apply against raising money. So when I look at this toll road, well, it might work, but, you know, it could take, with those 4 committees, to get approvals and possibly having to do an EIN, who knows, you know, or an IE, environmental impact report, right? Yeah. If we have to do one of those, I mean, this could take 8 years to get done. And it might not even break even after all those costs. And I think looking at all these things holistically and deciding where our best efforts would be a worthy exercise before we commit 5-digit figures to consultants. I think some questions could probably be answered really by staff, like just looking at what permits would be required, what the timelines are, and so forth. And then we have, you know, a better picture potentially of whether this is going to be a moneymaker or a money loser. I think there's also aesthetic and environmental concerns too. Building a bunch of toll booths and stuff in a very scenic area is problematic for me. But anyway, we should look at it all together. That's my view.
Thank you very much. Councilman?
Mayor, if I may, we had a late arrival for item number 1, if it so pleases the council.
For this item?
Yes.
Oh, Larry? Larry, come on up.
If it's okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I am late. Thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor Bradley, council and staff. A lot of good thoughts. The speakers before me already shared some good thoughts on this. The issue is so immense that I really believe that the future costs really need to be shared amongst the entire region, at least amongst the entire city itself. All of us residents, unfortunately, you know, I'm not one who wants any higher taxes or anything, but we have 2 major issues I'd see up front. One is the likelihood or highly unlikelihood that we would get approval from all the respective agencies that have a say in this. And 2, the unintended consequences, which we know are going to be, regardless of whether it's approved or not, the increased traffic on the other roadways. And we're going to have very upset neighbors, very upset residents, even the ones that don't take PV Drive South. They'll be driving through Crenshaw, Hawthorne, PV Drive North, and it's going to be a mess. because we're human. We'll want to save money and avoid going on the toll road. We definitely need the revenue for the future, and I just think it's going to have to end up being a shared expense amongst all of us residents. Our staff, I have confidence, will keep pushing for any type of funding they get from any agency that's involved in transportation and so forth. But I think a shared expense through the residents, be nice if it was all Peninsula residents, is going to be a better option than a toll just to drive through there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Comments? Councilwoman Ferraro?
Well, in a way, that's pretty much what I was going to say, is that I don't think this really makes sense at all, because by the time, if we could ever get approval, which when you look at the list of groups that we have to go through, approval's not likely to begin with. And if we ever would get there, it'll be so far down the future that the money that we've spent, it would take years to make up that money. None of this makes financial sense at all. Plus, to gum up the drive, which is pretty essential to a lot of people that live on the south side and the east side. And they, or I should say we, because I live over there, would be penalized every time we tried to go to the other side of the peninsula. To me, this just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense to spend the money that it would take to see if it's possible, when I can just pretty much decide it right now that it's the likelihood of it even being possible is pretty slim.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Mayor Pro Tem, anything? Okay. I'll just say a couple things. I do resonate to what Councilman Peristam was saying, that this needs to be part of the holistic plan of how we're going to do the financial sustainability for how we're going to go forward with the landslide. I will let the public know that we are all still actively looking to our county, our state, and our federal partners for grants or any type of funding. Like I mentioned at the last meeting, we did get $4 million from LA County Sanitation Board to help with the stabilization of the road, but we are still out there doing it. I know our city manager is in contact with various levels of government all the time. I'm there. I know the Mayor Pro Tem has also reached out as well. So we are continuing to, quote unquote, pound the pavement to try to get help. Right now, we're in a difficult time, of course, with the federal government shutdown. That has delayed any type of federal aid because of the shutdown of the federal government. The state and county is also going through some financial challenges as well. So, but we are out there trying to do it. I think the toll road, I have my doubts on the viability of it and actually being a cash generating entity. I am very concerned about the unintended consequence of driving massive amounts of traffic onto PV Drive North and PCH. I know we all saw that during the Cal Water repiping when the traffic patterns were disrupted within the city. I'm very scared by that. But I think it should be on the table still. I think it should go with the Sustainability Committee and look at a entire holistic package on how we can pay for the remediation of Palos Verdes Drive South now and into the future. And we'll rack and stack and see where things come out. But I can't get behind actually spending $25,000, $50,000 on bringing in an outside consultant right now when we have other priorities and other things stacked up in front of it. So I think we should receive and file the staff report, table this, but have this as part of the integrated list of possible additional revenue streams as we go forward.
I'd like to make a motion then.
Certainly.
I'd like to move to receive and file the report and refer the matter to the Finance Sustainability Committee for future consideration.
I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Peristam,
Yes.
Councilmember Ferraro,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seo,
Yes.
Mayor Bradley.
Yes.
Motion passes. With that, we can move to item number 2, consider requiring local grocery stores to offer paper coupons as an alternative to digital-only promotions.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Our administrative analyst, Irantu Pujadas, is here to present tonight's staff report.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm here to present, to consider requiring paper coupons in grocery stores. The recommendation is to include the continued availability of paper coupons in addition to digital coupons as a legislative priority in the 2026 legislative platform. Some background on this, many grocers are increasingly offering digital coupons in lieu of paper ones and creating access concerns, particularly among older residents. The city of Rancho Palos Verdes has a high percentage of older adults, between 27% and 30%, which compared to the statewide is 16% is quite a difference. According to Pew Research, 25% of older adults lack internet and 39% lack mobile phones. Households with language barriers or data privacy concerns may also be impacted. On August 5th, Mayor Pro Tem Seo requested staff to bring an item to consider an ordinance or other measure to address this gap. We look at policies in other jurisdictions. The states of Illinois, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts introduced legislation to mandate paper coupons or require grocery stores to automatically apply digital discounts at checkout. Also, the city of Los Angeles signed a resolution in August of 2025 to research and consider similar measures in the future. And finally, the city of San Diego is the first municipality to adopt an ordinance to require paper coupons. The San Diego ordinance, it's similar to the state legislation that has been introduced in several states. It requires grocers to offer paper coupons in addition to the digital coupons or in-store pricing equivalent to digital coupon pricing. Stores must also clearly label discounts and post signs informing customers about their rights. The San Diego ordinance got support from various community groups, which include AARP California, San Diego Senior Affairs Advisory Board, Elder Help of San Diego, and San Diego Equity Coalition. The grocery industry also expressed concerns, which are they have invested in technology and loyalty apps, so they view paper coupons as a step backward. Managing both coupon systems adds checkout complexity, and paper coupons are costlier to produce and distribute, and matching promotion across formats may reduce available deals. We also look at compliance. The city's code enforcement division will be responsible for ensuring compliance for a citywide ordinance. The division is comprised of only 2 code enforcement officers responsible for all citywide code-related issues, which include private property issues, coyote, and PFAL management programs. The local ordinance would be limited to the city of Rancho Palos Verdes and would not apply to other surrounding cities where a lot of residents might shop. The ordinance would primarily impact 2 grocers in the city, which are Ralph's and Smart and Final. So the recommendation is, given the challenges of a local ordinance, consider pursuing statewide legislation to ensure uniform practices and access in all jurisdictions. Direct staff to include the continued availability of paper coupons as a priority in the 2026 legislative platform, which will be presented on January 20th here for consideration, and work with state representatives to introduce or support statewide legislation in 2026. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of staff? I guess, oh, go ahead.
Do we've named the impacted retailers here as being Ralph's and Smart and Final. Do we know if those stores offer matching discounts if people ask for it, even if they don't have the app?
I
I know the answer to one.
I don't have the answer to that.
I know the answer to one. Ralph's will honor it if you push them, which I've done. I don't know about Smart and Final. So I just wondered, because one of the things I would ask first is if both of them were agreeing to that, are we now attempting to solve a problem that doesn't exist? So that's the basis of my question. But we don't know about Smart and Final. We don't know if they will sustain that practice or not. So that's my.
I guess I have one question of staff, is our ability to require this on 2 stores that are part of larger organizations. I mean, do we have the legal authority, Mr. City Attorney, to single out 2 stores and say you have to provide paper coupons or some type of ordinance like that to operate within the city?
So the ordinance would apply to all entities that qualify. The fact that we have 2 in the city doesn't mean we're targeting those 2. So I think the city has the authority to do this, yeah.
Okay.
But that was one of the concerns we had as we were analyzing this is both of these grocery stores are part of a larger corporation, and how realistic would it be? And we would probably get some pushback that we're only singling out 2 stores as opposed to all those stores in the LA County area. So that was one of the reasons that the recommendation is written the way it is. I do want to, after hearing what Councilmember Lewis said, maybe in addition to the staff recommendation, perhaps another item you can add to is a direction for us to send a letter to both of these grocery stores asking them to match or provide some sort of program or something that would help the residents that don't have access to paper coupons.
Okay. Do we have any requests to speak? Okay.
So, Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, if I may, the reason, I know this is probably a random thing that people are like, oh, how did this end up on the agenda? But it was brought to my attention earlier because of the fact that we have about 30% of senior citizens that live in this community. And the issue was that the digital coupons that these stores have provide these discounts, but folks that don't have access to it don't get the discounts. So it comes down to an equity thing for folks that are senior citizens that shop at these stores. Now, based on what we want to do, we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to shop at a low cost, and, we provide that for them, and the city's doing what we need to do. So, I understand the challenges the city may have, especially with enforcement, because we always think about how we're going to enforce it if we have bad actors, right? And it's hard to do, especially given our staffing. And I know we have other facilities and different stores we have in the city, but that's a concern of mine as well. But ultimately, the intent was to make sure that we have some type of equity for individuals shopping at these 2 grocers. And if others do qualify, have them get the people who do shop have the same access to the coupons that they need to make sure that they can lower the cost for groceries. So, granted, I do see the staff recommendation. I think that's fine as well. But what I'd like to also add is see if we can reach out to the 2 grocers, and we can say that Councilmember Lewis, he can verify that one does honor the coupons if you ask. If we can possibly sit down with those managers and see if we can make sure that our senior citizens are being taken care of when they shop at those stores. Maybe we start with that first, and then at a future date, if we need to go down this route of ordinance, and maybe we can revisit it. But at this time, I'd like to make sure that we emphasize the fact that they do have equity and access to those things.
Sure, sounds like a motion.
So, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Can I speak to the enforcement issue just briefly?
Absolutely.
The ordinances that I read and reviewed that have been adopted by other entities simply say, upon request, you will print out a paper copy of the coupon. So the ordinance will be self-enforcing. I mean, I suppose you'd have an enforcement issue if a person who didn't have access to the digital coupon requested that the store print out paper coupon or coupons, and the store said, no, we won't do that. But that would be horrible public relations.
Yeah, you know, and that's what you make these ordinances for those bad actors, and ultimately it may happen. And I know the burden of, you know, we have 2 staff code enforcement officers that do basically the whole city of the entirety. And let's say for a bad scenario, we have 5, 6, 7, 8 cases, and people are calling them saying, hey, so-and-so is not enforcing or not playing by the rules of the ordinances, then we're gonna have staffing issues at that point. So I understand that, but the reason why we brought this up was to make sure that we take care of our folks. And if we can do it in ways that can actually get the access to it, then I'm for it. But seems like the direction of the staff as well as council, maybe that's premature for an ordinance right now, so.
If I may, I agree with Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sympathetic to the seniors' plight. I'm sympathetic to people's plight that just don't have a good handle on digital technology. And having worked in this channel in various capacities in the past, or at least as a supplier to this channel, I kind of know what it looks like for them. I think there's levels of burden that you can impose on retailers. I'm not sure that at a municipal level that's what we should do, but we could certainly encourage them to do the right thing. And it sounds like we're maybe, you know, coalescing around that track. But as a practical matter, having like some device there that like prints out the coupon is quite burdensome. But to simply say, if you have a hang tag that says, hey, scan with your thing and you get, you know, 30 cents off at the register, to simply honor that at the register, there's no skin off their back at all. They can do it. Even in the old days when it was only paper coupons and there were no smartphones, they'd have a stack of their circular. And if you didn't get one in the mail, you could just pick one up off the counter and use it. So the practice of honoring that for all people is time-tested in these channels, no matter what they say about it. So I don't have any sympathy for their plight about saying this is somehow burdensome. What they want to do is compile data on people and harvest it and sell it. And so I'm greatly less sympathetic to that.
So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion for staff recommendation plus number 3, which is trying to reach out to the grocers to see if we can figure something out for our senior citizens in the city, lower their grocery costs.
Second.
You missed out on a second, Councilman Lewis. Okay.
I'm off tonight.
Councilmember Ferraro?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Peristam?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seo?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes.
Motion passes. With that, we can move to our final item, number 3, consideration to introduce by title only an ordinance adopting the 2025 California Building Standards Code. I do not have any requests to speak.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
Wait a second. I think we may have an imposter in the house.
I think that's been the reaction of most people who've seen
A tie
our building
and no
official.
trucker's hat. I don't think I've seen either one.
on our building official. So just for identification purposes, that is our building official, David Razor, in a tie. And he's got a pink ribbon.
Without a hat.
Yes.
Without a hat. Okay.
The floor is yours.
We're just kidding you, Dave.
No, I'm used to it. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Today we're here for the California Building Standards Commission update uniform codes governing construction practices in the state every 3 years. Local jurisdictions adopt and update the code, which may include local amendments by December 31st, 2025. The ordinance adopts 2025 California Building Code, Residential Code, Green Building Standards Codes, Electrical and Mechanical Codes, and Plumbing Code. Existing code provisions related to geological and administrative requirements will continue to be part of the city's building codes. Some of the new and noteworthy requirements contained in the 2025 code include California has adopted Wildlife Urban Interface, WUI code, which replaces Chapter 7 of the California Residential Building Code. The reorganization is intended to streamline the process for all parties involved in building in the wild urban interface areas. Excuse me. It's a bug. Second would be fire-rated vents. New vents leading into homes must be designed to resist embers and tested to specific ASTM E2886 standards. New standards mandate fire-related ember-resistant vents for attics, soffits, as well as approved exterior wall and decking materials. New residential buildings must use heat pumps for space and water heating to meet prescriptive requirements. The code mandates highly efficient electric heat pumps for space and water heating in new single-family and multifamily residential construction. Prescriptive compliance options no longer allow gas-based heating. Public hearing for the second reading of the ordinance is scheduled for City Council consideration on November 18th. Updated codes become effective January 1st, 2025. Staff recommends
26. Should that be 26?
26, sorry. Staff recommends that the City Council introduce the ordinance adopting by reference the 2025 California Building Code standards and continue this matter to a duly noted public hearing on November 18th for adoption of the draft ordinance.
And that concludes the presentation.
What? Oh, yeah. No, I was just seeing if anybody else wanted to start off the questions, but I know where to start.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of questions on the two items on page 3, and it refers to the offsite geotechnical and geological hazards and the hazard eliminated clauses. Could we, what are we doing with those? Is that an elimination, an extension?
Basically rolling them over to the new code cycle.
So there's something we have in place currently, and we're keeping those.
Yes, sir.
But they're identified separately here for a reason, and that reason is because?
It's just, I mean, there's multiple codes that we're actually rolling over. That was just an example.
Yes. And to add, because every 3 years you adopt a new building code, if you have certain exceptions in place and you want to retain them, you need to add that to the ordinance. So it's part of the decision-making, otherwise it falls off. So every 3 years when we adopt the new building code, we include all those other special provisions that we adopt that are unique to our city.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
So I did have one question, Dave. So the fire safety changes to the ordinance, those are the new things that we've been talking to LA County Fire about with the fire screens and all that. That's consistent with some of the lessons learned that's come out of Altadena and the Palisades?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fantastic. Those, I think, are really leaning into trying to make the community even safer with new building codes to help our houses be even more fire resistant than possible. Any other questions, discussion? With that, I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation of the first reading.
Second.
MPT.
Councilmember Peristam?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ferraro?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seo?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes.
Motion passes. With that, we can move to our future agenda items.
Does anybody have any future items that's not currently on our agenda? Okay. Oral reports. Okay. Next one's adjournment. Oh, shoot. Well, I was predicting that we'd get done by 9, so I have to draw this out for another 58 minutes? No.
Good luck.
With that, I will adjourn the 21st of October meeting of the Rancho Palos Verdes City Council. We are adjourned till
5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th for a special meeting to hold closed session in the community room at Kendida Civic Center, and then we will re-adjourn here in McTaggart Hall at 7 p.m. on that day.
Thank you very much, and we will adjourn in a celebration of former Mayor Ken Dida's 94th birthday. Go, Ken, go.
We're adjourned.